Welcome to another Diadochi Tournament battle. Today we have Macedon, played by Gunbeerfreedom, versus Sakari, playing as the Bactrians. I'll start with the Macedonian army. There's 5 Thorax pikemen. These are the upgraded version of the Bronze Shield pikemen. A little bit better armor, a little bit better melee attack and defense and morale. Better everything. A little bit better. The Macedonian Bronze Shield pikemen were already superior to the Bactrian pikemen. Now he has even bigger advantage. With his support infantry, he has some White Shield infantry. These men have armor-piercing weapons, and they have a massive bonus versus elephants. They can even help against cavalry, but there's only 1 ammunition, compared to 3 of the Diadochi swordsmen. But in this situation where he's facing Bactria that has elephants, these men are excellent in supporting role. He also have some Diadochi spears as support for cavalry. He then have Thessalian shock cavalry. His general also has a shock cavalry, very offensive on this side with cavalry. And then he has Greek javelin cavalry on this side. These are fast horsemen, but they have very low armor, very easy to kill. Their charge is not the best, but maybe if they can get a charge, an unexpected cavalry unit, they can be lethal. And they do have javelins, and they can outrun heavier cavalry if you micro them correctly. They have the speed to just run away from heavier cavalry. Doesn't matter if the enemy cavalry is more expensive if they cannot catch them. And but these horsemen are 4. Very against the cataphracts or something. These men would be very scary. The cataphracts would not be able to run away. And they also Macedonians also have 2 peltast units here. These are they are decent in a melee fight after they've hurled their javelins. Hurling javelins is their primary focus. They have swords and they have 3 armor-piercing weapons. They're however inferior to the Bactrians in terms of the armor piercing. Let's see where the Bactrians are. 15 in armor though, versus 25. So the Macedonian peltast a bit more heavily armored, but less armor piercing in melee. Let's take a look at the Bactrians. The Bactrians have went with a missile cavalry force. And this is because the missile cavalry is cheaper than the shock cavalry of the Bactrians. He has a Sogdian horse archer unit. They have their camels, so they scare cavalry. And he has a Bactrian horse archer. These Bactrian horse archers may not have much armor, but they have bows and they have axes. So they can be used to attack maybe an already engaged cavalry unit. These men for flanking and holding the enemy cavalry in place whilst you move in supporting units. He has this Indian elephant unit, and these are very scary for the Macedonians to deal with. That's why the Macedonians brought the White Shield infantry. They has this Bactrian assault noble cavalry. Now this is very good cavalry unit, very offensive. Very shock, but ideally you want to pull out after you made a charge, pull out again and charge again. But even unless it's against another cavalry unit, then you just keep in fight and get cavalry in support and spears. However, to the supporting infantry, the Bactrian player Sakari, he had went with the Bactrian infantry, and these men do not have a Diadochi shield. They have a Doreforoi, and they can form a disciplined formation. They have a bit better attack bonus versus cavalry and elephants, and they can form a disciplined formation which make them even tougher to deal with. So that is the Bactrians army here, evenly distributed on the support on the infantry side. However, the Macedonians do have more supporting infantry than the Bactrians. The Macedonian pikemen are superior to the Bactrian pikemen. The Bactrians do have a Bactrian spear unit of their own. to the Turosbroi version. But it looks bad here. The Macedonians can form a diamond formation and catch these camel riders, force the Bactrians to an engagement. But I do like the idea with these cavalry horse archers. Have even more firepower to harass the enemy before the melee. Let's start the battle. So the thorax pikemen are moving up. The white shield infantry is moving here to get a flanking opportunity here, to press the flank. Yeah, now they're moving all across. These Greco javelin infantry cavalry is now moving to the far flank. This is a danger. The Bactrians are moving up. They formed a Canatribian circle here. That will tire out this cavalry unit before the enemy is close. He's moving up with this horse archer unit to make some harassment on these Turosbroi. He should be moving up to maybe here, shoot a couple of volleys, but this is risky maneuvering, as if he loses focus on the fight, that can cost him a cavalry unit. Here, the Bactrians are going in for harassment. This is good. He has infantry close by, but he shouldn't keep moving forward here. He can maybe keep moving with pikemen, but wrap the spears to the side. Infantry behind. The Thessalian cavalry is coming in here. If he went to a diamond formation, he would be able to catch the camel riders. But so far, the Bactrians are able to shoot at this Thessalian cavalry. The Sogdian archers are moving in here, but this Bactrian infantry is a bit slow. The Thessalian cavalry is coming in here. They're taking lots of arrow fire now. They did not get a charge in though, and these archers actually have spears. They may look like the non-regular archers, but they actually have spears. And now, what comes around here? This is a good defense. The Bactrian player should move back these horse archers, because he has been losing horsemen now, and he needs to consolidate this side. Be defensive on this side now, as you're actually doing quite good damage here on the Macedonian cavalry. This Thessalian cavalry got caught out by the spears. Good opportunity here for the Bactrians to charge this Thessalian unit. Okay, he's running back. Keep firing at it. The Macedonian general is coming in here. Oh, and the Bactrians lost his horse archer here. You don't want... No, this... You shouldn't do this. You're charging in against Turios' spear. I know you're probably worried that you have limited support, but this is not something you want to do. Not when you're winning the other side, but the enemy has 2 cavalry units here that he can use on you. And the Greek javelin cavalry is now at killing off these Sogdians. Doesn't matter if they are a bit worried of the enemy horsemen. These Sogdian archers are shooting these pikemen in the side, the unshielded side, which is good. However, they should be focusing on the white shields or these Greek javelin cavalry. This Macedonian general, he went in for a melee fight and he got a good charge on these Sogdians. What you can do here, Bactria, is like this Thessalian cavalry. Ideally, if it's close in a fight, you want to attack it whilst it's is stuck in a melee. But it's good that you're firing at it, but you can keep it stuck. These men are stuck. Charge it with the Bactrian horse archers. I know it sounds stupid, but if these men are not charging their own, you have your own cavalry in support. These Sogdian archers can be used to rout this Thessalian cavalry, then you go around and hit these Bactrian general. See, these men got shattered. Use this Bactrian Sogdian cavalry to go around and kill off this Macedonian general. That will demoralize the Macedonians greatly. Here the Peltas got routed by the Bactrian general here, but this Bactrian Dorophora is taking damage by the white shields. These Indian elephants are taking damage, but they're trying to hold off against this Greek cavalry. The Macedonians are probably quite desperate now because they don't really have the shock anymore. These Peltas are going around, that's a good idea, but these Peltas got trapped by this white shield infantry. The Greco javelin cavalry is coming in here and actually get a charge off. That is enough though to be wavering this Bactrian pike unit. You have to form a rally here to sort of balance it out. Let's see, this Bactrian Peltas are shooting at this Peltas. Good here. You need to turn this unit around or charge. Yeah, that's good. He's charging this Greco javelin cavalry to get it away from his pikemen. Here it looks good, but he needs to. Okay, he's shooting this cavalry. I mean, this Peltas unit with his remaining javelins. This is not good. He wants to shoot this Hippocontistae or these spear infantry. He needs to weaken them up as much as possible. Macedon do have supporting infantry behind the Bactrian pike line. These Indian elephants are doing their best to prevent the charge. The Bactrian general is trying to help and demoralize the Macedonian pikemen, but it's not working though. Well, it is actually working a little, but he needs to rout this. Now Bactria is using his Peltas to hurt the Macedonian pikemen, but he's risking hurting his own elephants as a... Yeah, that fact that Macedon had more support infantry here is gonna hurt the Bactrians, it seems like. Yeah, the Bactrian phalangites are routing. Then the Bactrians doesn't really have much that can deal with the pikemen of the Macedonians. He has these elephants, but they're routing right now. Another disadvantage for Bactria is that these Dorophoroi have 2 speed. They don't have 3 speed. It means that these Turosporoi can catch up to these Bactrian infantry and rout and shatter them. Once they're shattered, they don't come back. Same with these pikemen. If they get shattered, they don't come back. The Bactrian Peltas are trying to get a flanking opportunity, but it's not working. The Macedonians have a clear advantage here in terms of infantry. They're consolidated now. Charge! But Macedonians are too clustered. This Bactrian general must pull out. He's too vulnerable. This Sogdian archer must move back. For death and glory, for Rohan, for your people. Yes, these camel riders, and they are shattering these pikemen of the Macedonians, and that is a good thing. However, these white shield infantry are butchering these Bactrians, and he can't really do much about it. The Macedonian general is coming back along with some Greek cavalry. He needs to have these elephants returning to him. These Sogdian archers are shooting, but they're shooting at the infantry now. Or, yeah. Okay, the Bactrian elephants came back. But he doesn't have the pikemen anymore. And his infantry can be shattered. Let's see. Okay, looks like the Macedonian general is on bloodlust. Yes, it's similar in terms of men, but the Macedonian general is also very tired. So that means that the Bactrians will get a better charge than what the Bactrians will get a better charge than the Macedonians. This Greek javelin cavalry is tired, but it can't stop an elephant. It's very light compared to a very medium class. But the thing is though that Bactrian general came in behind. So now keep charging here. The Macedonian general is coming in here on his own. No support. He's trying to take advantage of the fact that the Bactrians did not charge him. But it's still a very bad idea. You may think you have won the battle, but these Indian elephants are very tough. Now we have the Tirosi spears coming in here, along with some white shield infantry. So piecemeal, it seems like the so for now it's relatively even on this battlefront, but Bactrians have the mobility to scatter these infantry. You see, these Torophoroi are facing some peltas of the Macedonians, but the enemy peltas are okay. What did they do? Whatever. So yeah, the Indian elephant's coming around here. As long as he has these elephants, he has a chance. There's always hope. So these Tirosi spears got routed. And the Sogdian camel riders are on its way. Hold on, pikemen. Help is on its way. Some more Tirosi spears are coming up here. But these Tirosi spears are not disciplined. But they are actually affected by the death of the Macedonian general. Gathered, okay. These peltas came back. For the Bactrians, you need to move them. These Sogdians must move also. Turn around to face one of the units here. And then you simply flank. These Indian elephants, are they gonna charge? No. The Macedonians are on its way to get these, trying to get these Indian elephants. Oh, these are wavering, these Tirosi spears. Ah, they're wavering because they're very tired. That's why their morale is so bad. So these elephants are chugging for the side. The Tirosi are now turning to face them. And now the Bactrian general is coming in here to the side here, and getting a clean flank charge on the Tirosi spears. These Sogdian camel riders managed to rout these Tirosi spears. So now these Bactrian pikemen are now free to recommit against the unit. The Macedonian player seems very, very confident on his victory. He has superior troops, no doubt about it, but it's a bit... he should have regrouped with his pikemen and Tirosi spears and white shields, rested up and then moved forward. If he wanted to win, but as long as he wins, there's no real consequence to this. But this was a very important battle for both players. As Gunbeerfreedom, in his very first battle, he took one less pikeman than allowed. This made it so they had to redo this battle. So Sakari, he had a victory. So if he had won this battle, he would have went forward to the next round. So it was very important for both players to win this battle. This battle was actually like the last one they played together, because they had to remake it. It wasn't allowed. So yeah. These pikemen though are hurting these Bactrian general cavalry. The Bactrian general is exhausted. These pikemen are not in phalanx, and these white shields are on the flank of these pikemen now. And without the anvil, there is no hammer. These Sogdian archers may have spears, but they can't fight dedicated infantry head on. Yep, and now they're only the general. Okay, the elephants came back again. The white shield infantry is flanking these Sogdian archers. Can he win with only again with elephants and some general cavalry? I do not think so, and neither does the team. But the Macedonian infantry here is red. Ooh, one of them got shattered here. Maybe it's enough. Can he rout this Terilsi spear also? Yes, he can. Wow, and these men had only lost 6 men. Scatter these Bactrian units now. Try to rout this white shield. And then you can get around this, maybe this pike unit. The Bactrian infantry is returning, but you need to combine them with the Bactrian peltas to have a chance. Oh no, these Indian elephants routed. That's very bad, unfortunate. Now the Bactrians will not have the scare ability of the elephants to help them. So it's 2 okay, maybe 3 if you combine them. So it could work for the Bactrians, could. But this general is on his own and is very exhausted. How could it work? He needs to combine his Bactrian infantry here. Deny the Thorax pikemen a fight. Commit against the supporting infantry. Rout them. Get a cavalry charge on the supporting infantry, but not head on. Not now, because the Bactrian Macedonian pikemen are behind you and may trap them. Anyway, the Bactrian peltas who charged in here. These Thorax pikemen adapted. The Bactrian infantry went in behind it, which is this should have been a flank attack here. However, the Bactrian general is now going to rout, and that will demoralize the Bactrian infantry that will now rout themselves also. Good game to both players here. Good game to both players. The Doroforoi, I can go to a custom battle quickly. I like the idea with this Bactrian army. Good idea here by the Macedonians to have white shield infantry to help counter elephants. He took heavier bronze pikes than what he really needed to have supremacy against these Bactrian pikemen. These Terilsi spears. Yeah, you see that Macedonian had more supporting infantry than what the Bactrians had. Let's try to make ourselves a Bactrian army. And I do have a Bactrian army already available. So let's see. I will just take a quick look at the roster. This is a very good cavalry unit for the price. Have 2 of these. Why not a Bactrian cataphracts? It's mainly due to the speed. You may get a bit more armor, but you actually lose morale. And since 5 speed is like very bad, because you can simply get outrun by the enemy cavalry, can simply ignore you and catch up to you if you get into a bad position. 6 speed is a bit more flexible and you're still very aggressive. The principle is the same. Get these cavalrymen out of melee combat with infantry as quickly as possible. Harass with these horse archers. These horse archers are much cheaper, and it is an advantage that Bactrians have over the other Hellenistic factions, is that they have horse archers. So definitely use that to your advantage. These Indian elephants are very expensive and something that will drain the unit. Every faction with an elephant must take them. So the elephants are going to be a major price factor for those factions. These Bactrian peltasts are very good. They have 8 ammunition. That's a factor that you have to take into consideration. And also they have armor piercing weapons, better than the Macedonian version of peltasts. It's just that the Macedonian peltasts has a bit better armor. And this is my army. However, let's just say why I would take the Tyrosi spears instead of the Dorophoroi. These Dorophoroi is very good. The defensive formation, good for defending your pikemen. However, the Tyrosi spears are 300 men and have a javelin and have the speed, and they can be very more can simply help and come back from a fight better. These assault infantry is very good to have. They have armor piercing weapon, can also help against cavalry. Good boner versus infantry, bit more armor. So if the Macedonians have brought the Tyrosi swords, these men could have won. Just make sure that you have these Tyrosi spears get hit by the javelins first. Then you have an advantage with your infantry. These Sogdian axemen have a very high attack and a very high charge. Would have helped you quite a lot against infantry in the infantry combat. So I will just make a quick battle, like just quick setup. Idea is quite simple. Pikeman center. This is an obvious player. This is something you all know. Just as a starting setup, Tyrosi spears up front. One assault infantry behind, preferably to the side. Why here? Because with these units, you're gonna shoot at the unit over here on to the side. Same with these peltas. You want to hit the unit to the side. So have these men like well guarded. The Sogdian axemen do not have javelins. Keep them behind. Now this shock cavalry should be on your defensive side. These horse archers are gonna harass this side so they can try to shoot into the unshielded side of the enemy. These Indian elephants can be over here, or alternatively you can have them in the center to start, so that you can move them to where you see where the enemy is gonna concentrate his forces. Be defensive on that side, offensive on this other side. Don't push both sides equally. If you see that the enemy has superiority on one side, be then defensive, turn inwards. Protect yourself on that side where you're vulnerable. Keep pushing where you're strong. Connect maybe like this with the pikes. Keep everybody else, these pikemen, back so you can turn around if you need even further. You can just keep adapting to what the enemy is going to do, so that you have the javelins still in a reserve or kill off troops. Push here. What if the enemy pushes here? What if the enemy has to adapt to the horse archers? Having all your horse archers concentrated on one spot knows that you have all your horse archers on one side of the battlefield. So it makes it easier for you to know, oh yes, I'm going to be defensive here. Okay, the enemy shock cavalry is coming through here. I'm just going to keep turning and deny them the ability to be used. Because I have a lot of infantry support, I can hurl my javelins at the enemy and just keep back. Oh, your cavalry is coming in here. Oh well, I have my own cavalry here. I have elephants here. I have infantry support here. The Macedonian infantry would be very far stretched And the Macedonian pikeman would also like be vulnerable if he stretches himself. Maybe he gets too hyper focused on getting through here. Then you can simply take a unit, make a little column, get through the little gap, charge behind, and you can maybe get a route, giving you the advantage. So be defensive on the side where you know on the flank that you can see that the enemy is superior on, and push the other side. Get yourself an advantage. Would you keep the Tyrio's spear here after they have thrown their javelins? No. You would throw it like this. When the enemy cavalry comes in, you can go behind your own lines again. Push with the Tyrio's spears. Push with the Greco javelin assault infantry. Try to position yourself in to a beneficial advantage. Keep these horsemen protected. These men still have axes. They're still a threat once in a melee. You just don't want them to get charged and like frontally. So now let's say the enemy charges an infantry unit. Then you can trap them because they have 8 speed. If a cavalry unit is maybe 6 speed or 7 speed, they can't run away from horse archer. If they try to pull out from a fight, even if it's horse archers, they will take a lot more casualties. This allows you to bring in spear infantry, like keep them like this, and all of a sudden even better cavalry will lose to the missile cavalry. And then you have one extra cavalry unit that you can use to flank the other cavalry, or get this horse archer behind the infantry, like harass their pikemen. You commit against the supporting infantry on this side, get this horse archer behind and charge the support unit, and then you can get the Tyrio's spears to attack the flank of the pikemen or the rear, or the assault infantry, preferably. Just you want the spears to fight enemy spears, cavalry, ideally. These peltas can also be used like against cavalry and pikemen. If you attack, like hurl against these pikemen from the side, you want to hurl this unit then, the unit in front of this. Hurl like this, you will do a lot more damage. And these assault infantry would wreak havoc on the pike line from the flank, along with the Sogdian axemen. This javelin unit, can also make it so that, yeah, the cavalry has to keep its distance. They will take a javelin volley, will still help your cavalry. And they have 5 bonus versus cavalry. So if they get committed against cavalry, they can do a decent job on it. So defense on this side with the heavy cavalry and the elephants. Keep the enemy scared. Keep him hesitant to commit his heavy cavalry on this side. And harass him on this side. Get an advantage. Get something that you can use. Push. And win. Thank you for watching this. Bye.